I want to invite Jill to talk about the bylaws, that changes, whatever we did on bylaws.
Hello, namaste, I'm Jill. I've been the first vice president of ANS since 2020, and I was a member at large beginning in 2019 before that. So nice to meet you all. I believe it's 28 pages. I'm not going to talk 28 pages worth of words, but the bylaws as they've been amended and updated is, I think, what does it say? 21 pages. Much better. So thank you, Sujit. Hello again, everyone. I'm now just going to try to briefly discuss the approved updates to ANS's organizational bylaws. I will try to be brief, and I will be reading a lot just because this is on the books, this is the bylaws. So just as a reminder, for context, pre-COVID, ANS annual general meetings were held in person, and any proposed amendments to the bylaws were written up by hand and disseminated to those life members in attendance as the meeting was still going on. Members were then asked to vote on proposed amendments right then and there without sufficient time to really review what they were reading or what they had received. While we have held periodic meetings and gatherings over the course of the pandemic, including the Life Members Picnic in the summer of 2021, where we did highlight the proposed updates to the bylaws that the board had agreed upon, we do strive to ensure the full breadth of our membership's voices reflected in everything we do. Despite still operating in pandemic conditions, we want our life members to be able to vote on proposed actions in the greatest numbers we can, but unfortunately both attempts to host our annual general meeting did not result in a big enough quorum or a big enough group that we needed to be able to vote. For our first attempt, we needed at least 100 members on the books to be able to hold our meeting and to vote, but we did not have that. And then our second attempt, we needed 50, and we did not get that either. And we understand because we did not have it in person, and there was no food. So I understand why. But I will say, in the AGM invites and reminders, I did provide life members with links to the proposed bylaws to suggest edits or to provide comments so they could review in advance of the vote. I did not receive any feedback, and we never got that quorum, like I said, to be able to hold our vote. The previous version of the ANS bylaws that were adopted in 2007 did not have any provision or detail for what to do if we could not hold a vote, which kind of left us in a holding pattern of not really being able to move forward to fulfill our mission as an organization. So therefore, we used our executive powers, especially per the election committee, and to incorporate these new bylaws into our organization. In the request for review of the bylaws, we did ask you to note the highlighted proposed changes by subject area. Some of these subject areas did not exist in previous versions of the bylaws, such as the Code of Ethics, liability, limitation of methods, statement of affiliation, disciplinary action, and area of operation. These parameters will allow ANS to step more confidently into the present on paper, protect our volunteers and our board and our membership, define who we are and what we do and what we stand for. An additional area of note to proposed changes concerns membership fees. We approved that regular members be broken out into the following categories: youth volunteers, and one category comprising the following. And I'm sorry for all these little details. Two-parent household with children, a single-parent household with children, a couple, or a single person who's a head of household. This sounds like the census. Youth is defined as 18 and younger in this situation, and youth membership would be free. We approved to expand regular annual membership options to include volunteers who receive a free complimentary annual membership if they volunteer and give their time and or skills for the benefit of ANS and its community. Please note that regular annual members do not get to vote. That is a life member privilege. For the third category, comprising families with children and individuals, for the cost of a yearly annual membership was moved to $100. Please also note that this change is intended to encourage prospective members to donate their time rather than their money, and to the work that we do to foster greater community and interest in our work, and lead them to consider permanent membership via life membership as they sort of get a better feel for what ANS does. But of course, we really value everyone's time. Another proposed change of note is the increase in the one-time ANS Life membership fee from $100 to $500. This increase is the result of tons of research of similar organizations responsive to a membership base around the country and particularly in the DC area. We do not collect dues on an annual basis, as you know, for life members. So we collect this amount on a one-time basis for individuals, couples, and families with children under 18. This increase reflects a very low amount compared to other organizations, as I said. We also offer the opportunity for interested community members to obtain life membership in ad hoc lottery events that we conduct through our programming. We do not want cost or the price of being a member to be a barrier for people to join our community, which is why we offer the complimentary annual membership for volunteers, but we do not have any regular streams of income at the moment, and in order to continue our annual and ad hoc programming, keep up with annual fees for storage, taxes, insurance, and things like that, we approved this increase as a way to meet our organizational needs. Another approved change indicated in the bylaws regards nomination and election processing for board elections for ANS. Life members are the only form of members able to vote in board elections, and if a nomination letter is submitted for an eligible individual to run for a position on the ANS board, and once all nomination letters have been received by a deadline, and they are the only individual running for that position, we approved that this individual does not have to move through a formal election process. This would apply for an entire ANS board, as it did in the past election cycle where only one eligible person was entered for each position available on the executive committee. So in this case, no election will have taken place. For any specifics, you can view the bylaws and amendments on the website, and that's under the About Us tab and the Bylaws tab within it. Or of course, feel free to contact me. I know a lot about the bylaws because I've been working on them for a few years, just making sure we have all of our details accounted for and to be thoughtful about the changes. So of course, always feel free to contact me. For now, that's it. I don't want to talk more about the bylaws. I know it's like a lot of information, but I appreciate you all listening. So on that front and anything we've said at this point, does anyone have any questions or comments about any of the updates or anything that we've noted? You now have an opening to speak. We'd be happy to give you the mic if you have anything you'd like to share. Thank you. Dhanyabad.